Massive shout out to Boxing Bros UK. Check them out. And yeah, God bless you all.
Boxing Bros UK here. I'm the boss Chris. And I'm with Lonely Stoner Podcast. We're here to talk about Andy Cruz and Muratalla. But how do you pronounce his name, sir?
Muratalla.
Muratalla, that's it. Let's get into it. Take it away, brother. Like, what do you make of the fight?
Well, we were just talking off camera. We're saying that potentially, is this too early for Andy Cruz? And when this fight got made, I was thinking, yeah, Andy Cruz is ready for this. He's an Olympian. He's unbeaten. He's running through all his competition. But the closer we get into the fight, I'm thinking it's still a bit early. Now, for everyone who doesn't know about Andy Cruz, he's a 2020 Olympic gold medalist. As an amateur, won everything there is to win. And as a pro, is undefeated at 6-0, I think we said. And he's the IBF international champion. And today, he's pretty much run through all of his competition. You know, there's been a couple of guys that have showed a bit of resistance, but Andy Cruz overcame them with ease. And if you've seen Andy Cruz boxing the amateurs, you know this guy's got some serious sauce, right? This dude is styling all over guys in the amateurs and making Olympian boxers look silly. You know, it's a sort of trademark Cuban elusive counterpoint boxing style. And as a pro, no one has really even got close to Andy Cruz and given him a true test. Even though at times Andy Cruz has adopted his style, I think ultimately this versatility will be what makes Andy Cruz a modern great. The fact that he's going to be able to switch up between styles. And the fact he's got multiple layers to his game. I think by instinct, he's a counterpuncher. And at the lower levels, we've seen guys that have fought Cruz have basically been guys that have showed up to sort of take a beating, right? And whereas if Andy Cruz is a counterpuncher, it's not going to look great all the time, right? So Andy Cruz has been, you know, he's had opponents that have forced him to be aggressive. And I think that's a style and a skill that he's still developing. And, you know, there's been times when we've seen Andy Cruz be over-aggressive and not defensively responsible, and he gets caught every now and again, right? And Muratalla, on the other hand, will not be as passive as previous Andy Cruz opponents. As Muratalla, in his own right, is undefeated. I know he said he's a world champion technically. He got upgraded to a world champ. But he's a guy who's been in and around top level, not top level, but a decent level for a while with wins over like Tevin Farmer. And if you know boxing, you'll look at Tevin Farmer's record and you're like, this guy sucks. No, if you watch Tevin Farmer box, you know this guy, if you're going to beat him, you need to get up pretty early in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And he's a fight.
He's like a Derek kind of.
He is. Okay. He's tricky. And he's like the type of guy that on a bad night, he could beat you.
Yeah.
You know, Muratalla is a fight who has a lot to lose. You know, he can lose his O and his world title. So he's not going to show up to be as passive as previous Andy Cruz opponents. And he's shown that, in my opinion, Muratalla is a guy that when he smells blood, he can put his punches together nicely and often get guys out of there. We've seen Muratalla a number of times effectively punish his opponents when they're not being defensively responsible in the pocket or leaving an exchange. Typically times where Andy Cruz has been caught as well in the past. And there are moments where we've seen, like I said, Andy Cruz caught with these punches, and that could provide an opening for Muratalla. But overall, I think Andy Cruz has too many offensive weapons for Muratalla to deal with him. And I think that if Andy Cruz can be more defensively responsible in the clinch and in, you know, the danger areas of this fight, then he could definitely beat Muratalla and become the new IBF lightweight world champion.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with you there. I just, like, on paper and on the eye test, you just think Andy Cruz, easy. He don't like it to the body either.
No.
Muratalla. I can't get his name. I keep butchering it. But he don't like it to the body. He does not like it to the body. As we've seen against Farmer. And he can get lulled into, like, we've seen against Farmer, like fighting at the pace of his opponent. So where Tevin Farmer slowed it down to his pace, to his level, he slowed down with him. His corner was screaming at him, "You need to get busier. You need to pick it up. And he just couldn't do it because it was so easy. And then he was getting caught. And he was falling into Tevin Farmer's trap at times.
Well, but that reminds me, I think we should be wary of Andy Cruz's gas tank going into this fight. We've never seen him go all 12 rounds, I believe. And as an amateur, you're only doing 3 rounds. You're doing three 3-minute rounds, just nothing, you know? You can, you know, and we've seen it. I've seen a lot of Andy Cruz amateur boxing fights. So I'm a big fan. I've seen him, you know, have fights, win the first 2 rounds, take the 3rd round off. Can't do that in a 12-round fight, you know? And like you're saying, he doesn't like it to the body as well. This could be a potential upset, a big upset. But I mean, we're sort of seeing it coming. It's weird. It's an interesting fight. Like I said, it's a fight that asks a lot of questions, and hopefully, over the duration of this fight, over the 12 rounds, we get a lot of answers to those questions.
Yeah, I don't. My only thing is, it's maybe I'm just old fashioned, but
Yeah.
6-0, I think. To be fighting for a world title at 6-0, I think it's too soon. I really do. I know Muratalla isn't a proper champion. Like, he hasn't had the belt and defended the belt and at least 3 times or whatever.
Yeah.
And he hasn't won the belt from a champion. He's been elevated to champion. So, like you say, when Lomachenko retired, he got elevated. There's all that there. So it's not, because Lomachenko tried this second fight. Oh, let me fight for a world title. A lot. But he fought an actual champion. So you can say, well, we can't really compare them, because Andy Cruz ain't fighting an actual champion. But it's still pressure and all that of, this is a world title fight. You're 6-0. You're supposed to win. He's never been in a 12-round fight before. He hasn't been in one. I don't even think he's able to fight 12 rounds yet.
No. His last fight would have been like a 10-rounder, and he stopped the guy, but it would have been a 10-rounder. So, yeah.
So let's have a quick look.
He's the international title fight, not like a world title.
Yeah, so his last fight.
Japanese fella, I think.
Yeah. It was a good fight, though.
It was. The Japanese fella, he came to fight a bit, by the end of the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, I think he stopped him in. He was a bit of a punching bag, and Andy Cruz was sort of unloading on him. But Muratalla's not going to give you that opportunity, I don't think. Muratalla's a lot more of a live body in there.
That's what I mean. So you've never been scheduled to fight 12 rounds. So you've never.
Muratalla's undefeated in his own right as well. He's
23-0.
Yeah, he's worked his way up.
Like he's a shit fighter. So it's just. I keep thinking to pick Andy Cruz. But then I just keep thinking, something in my mind is saying it's too soon. It's too soon. Eddie Hearn. I think, with Eddie Hearn's track record of his matchmaking, my final prediction is I'm going to pick Muratalla, or whatever he's called.
Muratalla,
Unanimous. Yeah, Muratalla. Wow. I'm going to pick him for the win, because I just think it's too soon. 6-0. He's never even been scheduled to fight 12 rounds yet. It's too soon for Andy Cruz. And I just think, and where Andy Cruz is, he's novice, but he's not. He's got so many skills. But you need a little bit of experience. You need a little, and he has got none. And he's got none, and he's fighting a guy who's got all right experience. You know what I mean? So, and like you say, he's no scrub.
With Andy Cruz, it's like he's got this counter, sort of pretty boy style of boxing. I think what we haven't seen him show is the grit that the likes of a Muratalla actually has. That pro world level grit that you need to have to get through a 12-round fight. Andy Cruz has never shown that. But I say all that to say, Andy Cruz, this is a guy who I seen won everything in the amateurs. No one even came close to him. Even Keshawn Davis, he beat Keshawn Davis multiple times. Yeah. I think this guy, he's he on the front foot, just throwing punches. He's shown elements of like a generational talent. I think he's not quite got the defensive responsibility yet to be that. But I say, he's a 30-year-old man. Gets to a point in boxing where you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
And his style, he can't one-to-one his style from the amateur days to the pro. It just does not work. But he's got Boots in his corner, Bozy Ennis in his corner as well. And he's been improving. I want to go with Andy Cruz. I want to say this guy is next up. He's generational. He's one of the few guys that could actually do it and win a world title with his 7th fight. I'm going to be picking Andy Cruz. I think it's going to be a close, but I think he's going to be a decision win for Andy Cruz.
Yeah. Okay. So there you have it. Final predictions. I get everything that you're saying, but I still just think one more fight, a 12-rounder against Tevin Farmer or someone like that before he goes in for a world title. Just for someone to drag him to them places that he don't want to go and see.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and especially I do actually see a path to victory for Muratalla as well. I do definitely see a world where Muratalla can win this fight. But my official prediction is going to be Andy Cruz.
Yeah, my official prediction is Muratalla, because it's just 6-0. It's just too soon for me. We've got a poll in the community to take a vote on. Like and subscribe. Leave your comments. Tell me what you think. Boxing Bros UK. We out.
Cool.
Help, I need somebody. Help, now just